first one is from Tom Lou at 208 Bachelor Street. It's a repair, a full repair, 3-bedroom house. The $150 fee was paid. It ends up being, he chose a bed to put in, so it's legal. Sands with no water table problem. It's going to be, he modified his design to comply with our regs. So it's a repair. My recommendation is that we approve it. It would be approved subject to, it currently has a dry well for the washing machine, so it's going to be plumbing inside change. So it needs a subject to a plumbing permit and Tom sending in a full-size drawing. How do you feel about that, Herb?
It looked good to me when I reviewed it.
Okay, so Colleen, we're set with that. We're approving subject to a plumbing permit and submitting a full-size drawing.
Okay.
The next one is Neil Jackson for lot 2 Ferry Hill. It's down the street from me, a quarter of a mile or so. It's way down in the woods. It is kind of medium soils. It's till a high water table. The review, I was fine with it, except that I was concerned that out in the middle of a field, Neil was placing the well within 105 feet of the leach field of the neighbor. And so what Neil did is move the well and the septic tank another 20 feet to make it so it's not so tight. I'm recommending that we approve it. And this one would be subject to fill and also submission of a full-size drawing.
I thought that recommendation to move it farther away was really a good one, and he agreed. So I think it looks good.
Okay, so we're all set with that, Colleen.
Okay.
A thing that let's not forget tonight, we've got minutes
Yeah.
Yes.
for October 13th, October 27th, and July 13. All three of those have been reviewed. Herb, you put comments on them. I added comments on top of your comments. And are we set to approve those three, Herb?
I move approval.
Okay, I am too. So Colleen, we're set with those three.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get the timesheets. I've got 3 timesheets. One of them for Colleen, and that's for 70 hours. So that's her 2 35-hour weeks. I've got one for Jean for 4 hours, it looks like, and we've got one for 27 hours. This one will be the last of Jean's regular timesheets. I've got a third one for Jean for, looks like 12 total hours for COVID work. So it's overtime work from July. In fact, so it's the first of this fiscal year, July 16th to October 19th. So it's a total of 12 overtime hours for $390.60. I should have gone back and looked at her pay was for $585.90, and Colleen was $1,576.92. Are you all set with that, Herb?
Yes.
And I am too.
Okay,
So Colleen, we're set with that,
okay,
and
Thanks.
I'll mail you signed copies.
okay,
The next one I have is our turnover sheet. We have no bills this meeting, but I've got a turnover sheet that's for permits and for $1,085 for Board of Health and plumbing permits. And I guess that's the only thing $10 for a
Burial.
burial permit for a total of $1,095 to be turned into the treasurer. Are you okay with that one, Herb?
Yes, it looked fine.
And I am also.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Colleen, was a change made on that sheet? Because the first time I looked at the dollar amount, I thought the numbers didn't add up, and then suddenly they did. So was there a change made, or did my brain just
No.
do something?
No, no, a change wasn't made. I mean, most of the money was for permits, and there was just the $10 for the burial license. So that's in a different spot. So maybe, but no, it
Okay,
wasn't changed.
all right, so whatever, I hiccuped.
Okay. We am just looking, I don't see Tom or Neil on yet. But when they come on, we can get them done. As long as we've got Herb that we're talking, Andrew Parker from McDuffie is going to be coming on later. Are we in a spot that we're going to do what we did the last time and say they basically have the authority to run their school within the laws and the guidance of the state, but kind of the way they want to? What is your thought, Herb?
I think if we decide on a different plan for running their school, it wouldn't make any sense, Dick. So yes, I think they have to be able to run their school within the law.
I do think that they're being extra cautious on trying to control it, and I think they're being much more cautious than we could ever ask the public schools to be.
And I agree with that. And my site visit there confirmed that to me as I walked around the school with Andrew. I think they're being very careful.
Okay. We're without Lee here. We have to move to something. I'm thinking we certainly could on our list of things to discuss, Herb, was the mask policy at the schools. And that one was specifically going to be talking about mask breaks inside. And originally, Carol Hepworth had told me that the DESE specifically allowed that to occur. And when I read the DESE guidance, it certainly seemed to be saying that they strongly recommend only outside breaks. Did you read it that way, Herb?
I did not. I did not read it, period. So okay. I can't give an interpretation, but I am really against mask breaks inside. That just goes against everything we understand to be at-risk behavior for spreading COVID. So I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, I will convey that. We have a meeting on Thursday, and in fact, as you're well aware, Herb, there was a COVID incident at the school at the East Meadow last Friday. And
yes.
and the management team right now, I know Nancy's involved, and I don't know if Ally is here, but I'm not sure that she's involved, but they are actively investigating it. My suggestion to them yesterday is to take a look and see how their protocol handled it, to see if they had issues that could have been done better. And if there's a way to make the response better, it may turn out that their investigation says, no, absolutely, there's nothing that should have been done differently. But I don't have that result. I expect that in the next 2 days, we'll find something out. Yeah, we have someone with the TV on, and one of you guys that's on here right now, it would be nice if you have the TV on and you're listening to news, if you could shut it off.
I think
Pardon me, Herb?
I think they shut it off.
I think so.
Could I bring up one thing? This is not on the agenda, but the application came today and the event is Sunday at Immaculate Heart of Mary Church, a veterans pork roast dinner. Jeffrey Lucier dropped this off to the office. I don't know, it was in the mailbox, and I called him and said, well, you're not giving us much notice here. But he said, well, it's the same as like the last time we did a drive-through. I guess he forgot to bring this in earlier. So I don't know.
What, are they going to be picking it up outside, Colleen? Are they picking up the dinners outside the church?
Yes, like a drive-through. Yes, they're doing a drive-through. I guess they've done a chicken dinner before. That was a drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same type of thing.
Is that that sounds like our standard format that we approved,
Yeah.
Herb, is that correct?
I think so, as long as people are distancing, they're wearing masks, they're being careful, they're taking care of one car at a time. I guess so. It would be nice if people did let us know what they specifically are planning, because we're not going to know. So we have to go on good faith that they are being reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Colleen, you say we approved a chicken drive-through before?
That's what he indicated to me. I don't know when it was, but that's what he said. Oh, yes, it'll be like our chicken dinner. And we drove, people drove up and picked up the dinners. And so, yeah.
So they've already paid for them?
Well, it's for the church. So I guess they're no charge. Nonprofit or whatever.
No, I don't believe that. I wouldn't like to see them exchanging money and making change and doing all that outside.
Dick,
Oh.
could I comment?
Yes.
Rich Stumaraki, I did attend attend the chicken dinner. People had to buy the tickets in advance at the office, and you drove through an area, one car at a time, where you picked up a meal, and I think they did a very good job.
Okay, so
Thanks, Rich. If they're doing the same thing, Colleen.
Okay.
Yeah, but why don't you find out if in fact they are doing that they've pre-sold the tickets?
Okay.
and if they didn't, then we have to tell them that they do need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, I just have someone else came on right now. Don't
Yeah,
know.
that's me, Dick.
Oh, okay, Lee. Andrew, we can probably get you out of here. We decided just tonight, decided that you should be responsible for running your operation and at a minimum complying with the state regulations. And we indicated that you were well in advance of that, more cautious than that.
Thank
And so we do not have issues with your proposals, and you can go home for the rest of the night.
I appreciate that, Dick. I am home.
Okay, then you can watch TV instead of watching us.
Yeah. Stay home, Andrew.
The TV news was not me.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
My only comment is that we have just received the updated CDC guidelines. We will review them and work them into our plan as necessary. And I'll send an FYI copy of any changes that we make to you, again, for your information only.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Tom,
gentlemen.
I see you're on. Is that true?
Oh, Tom.
I see Tom, but he's not answering us.
So he needs to unmute his microphone.
Yeah, it doesn't show there. Now it shows he's muted. But Tom, can you hear us? We certainly can't hear you, but let's hope that you can hear us. And we've reviewed your application. We've approved it. It's just subject to requiring that the installer get a plumbing permit for the plumbing work inside, and that you send in a hard copy to Colleen in the office. And with that, we don't even have to talk to you. You can, when I see your little sign go off, I'll know you've gone home. Okay, Lee, if we can get through your stuff, I've got a well permit for the corner on South and East, a well permit for 71 Taylor Street, a well permit for 64 Kendall Street, and a well permit for Lot 6 Bachelor Street. How are you with those?
When you say corner of South and East,
That's the lot with all the piles of sand on it right now.
I have no knowledge of a well permit for that, Dick.
Okay. So Colleen, that one we're not gonna approve.
Okay. I'll fax it over to you. I'll have to fax it to you.
How about the others, Lee?
Oh, everything else besides that is fine, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
I've got the Title V inspection reports. I've for 662 Amherst Road, units 5 and 6 as passes. 177 Kendall Street passes. 90 West Street needs further evaluation, so we should understand that before we just say okay. 76 Amherst Street passing and 72 Aldrich Street fails. Other than for 90 West Street, Lee, are you okay with those?
Yes, thank you, yes.
Okay, what can you tell us about 90 West Street that needs evaluation from the board?
I'm trying to, I need a minute to check my note on that. I didn't have a note about that it was in need for evaluation. Who did I should know this. Who did the was that Greg Everson on that one? Or does it not say?
Mine doesn't say, or maybe you looked at yours. I did not make a copy of those.
Okay, I left my book at work in error. I apologize. I have to get that note, and I can call Colleen or text Colleen in the morning and explain what that's in reference to.
Okay.
Okay.
We've got, just looking to see who we have. We do not have Neil yet. You want to take a couple minutes to talk to Al? Al Bichard's here with us.
Let's talk to Al.
Al, are you with us?
I'm here.
Okay, when I put you down, I figured you would have some words of wisdom for us as we start filling the town with Thanksgiving parties. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think my thoughts are that we continue to do exactly what we've been doing and, try to educate and get information out and handle situations as they come up from an education standpoint. So far, that's worked. We've had situations that have come up, and by example with businesses, whether the Board of Health has reached out to them or we have, and those situations seem to have gotten better. So I think that I really think that we should just continue doing what we're doing, and maybe put something out about the updated guidelines, the last 3 orders that came out that changed the gathering size, the masks, and then the business closings as well. So I think really it's a holding pattern for us. Continue to do what we're doing, and handle the situations individually as they come up.
Are you thinking when your guys drive by and see a bunch of cars in front of a house on Thanksgiving, are you intending to say anything to anybody?
Well, that's a pretty vague comment, Dick, saying that there's a bunch of cars at a house.
I was purposely vague because it's
Yeah,
going to be
well, you know what you ask, what you get when you ask a vague question?
a vague answer.
There you go. So what I would say is if our officers, just like we have in the past, and they've been instructed, if they see something that's an obvious violation, we'll go have a conversation. But, what's a lot of cars? How many?
Well, I know. Especially when you start looking and saying a number of 10 people.
Mhm.
That's a pretty small number.
If there's 30 cars in front of a house, I would say that requires a conversation for sure. If there's 5, 8, I don't know.
I don't think so either.
It's going to depend on the circumstances of each incident. And that's how we've been handling it so far. I think that's how we have to continue to handle it. And, maybe dose this with a little bit of common sense too.
Herb and Lee, what are your thoughts?
Do we put out another robocall with the updated guidelines from the state about size of gatherings and masks at all times indoors? And I'm just asking, I'm not saying we should do that, but since probably a lot of people are not going to be conversant with those new guidelines, something to consider.
That you mean just as a reminder of a limit of 10 per gathering? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, and there's a more stringent mask policy now.
Right.
So just reminding people of these changes from Governor Baker might tweak someone to be more aware.
I'm
Sure.
thinking, Herb, and going along with what you're saying, that you do a couple of them, maybe one that's out 2 weeks so that people can get a chance to say, maybe we can plan this a little differently, whether it's encouraging them to eat outside or eat on a porch with windows open, or And then maybe the day before, you just give it another shot and then say the cops are gonna be walking around with guns. I'm just being funny, Al.
You notice how Al is laughing.
No, I can see right now.
We don't need to joke about stuff like that. Anything that
What
you
do
want to do, I would just run past Chris Martin if he wants to put out some more stuff. The only thing I would be careful of, you also don't want to over communicate. There's other ways to do it than just the all call. There's Facebook, the Granby Facebook groups are a great way to reach out to people. We can do that. We can put it on our Facebook page. And I'm not suggesting that you don't suggest a call. What I would be careful of is just over communicating. And we've had in the past had situations where if you send out too many messages, people just dial out. They tune out rather. They hear it. So it's Granby calling and I don't want to hear it anymore. And they don't even listen to it. So while one call may be good or timely placed calls may be good, I'd be careful about, or maybe not be careful. I would be cognizant of the fact that you can over communicate and people won't listen. So something to think about. There's other forms of communication. Social media is a great way to do it. The town websites, all that, just different ways to hit different groups of people as well.
I could support that for sure. Maybe we need to get back. I'm gonna say this for the three old guys on the Board of Health. I'm gonna guess that Al, you are a lot more fluent with the social media than, well, I'm not gonna speak for the other two guys, than me. I can speak for me. So maybe we can enlist your help.
Yeah, we can do that. If you want to draft whatever wording that you want to put out, we can certainly put it out on Facebook. We can help with that. And as far as the all call, again, if that's something that if the board, the Board of Health wants to do, just reach out to Chris Martin. Once we have that squared away, or the select board, however you want to do that, we can put that out as well. But just whatever you want out, whatever message you want out, I'll just need.
Herb, you want to take a shot at that?
At which?
Add maybe a blurb for social media, and maybe we can do the same thing. And that it's just sending it out in two different methods.
It can absolutely be the same thing. In fact, I would suggest it.
Yeah. Sure. I'll do it. And
Okay.
I'll talk to you about it, Al.
Sounds great. Just, call me or email me, however you want to do it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Al.
Yep, no problem.
Neil, I see you there. We're done with you.
Okay,
We've approved the Ferry Hill Lot 2.
okay,
It's subject to our fill regulation, which means we need to do a bottom strip inspection.
yep,
And also that you need to submit a full-size, a new hard copy to Colleen.
yeah, I actually just sketched up the changes I'm gonna make and I sent it to the drafter, so I emailed it to you, Dick, so I'm pretty sure it's what you want, but if it's not, let me know.
Okay, so we're
Okay.
done. We've approved that.
Okay, awesome, great, have a great night.
Okay, good night.
All right, good night.
So we're almost 7 o'clock, Herb. You said we tried to get everything in before 7. We've got, we did not respond to the letter from the state, or the email from the state complaining about the girls' soccer violations. Do we want to come up with some type of an answer saying we've done an investigation and it appears that this is not a situation that's a problem situation? And I guess we could even say, and the season's over besides that.
Do we have to respond?
I'm not sure.
Because if there's no mandate to respond, I would leave it alone.
What do you think, Lee?
I think Herbie has a good idea.
I can
season's
support that.
over. Yeah, just let it lie. If they bring it up again, then we can revisit the topic, which I don't think they will, but we can wait and see if you want.
Okay, I can support that. So Colleen, that's what we're gonna do. We are not gonna send anything out.
Okay,
As I look, we've got COVID issues and email and phone calls that we have not discussed. Although we did talk about the COVID, actually we did. We talked about 2 issues with the school on COVID. I did send out to everybody that the impact, Herb and Lee, I sent you guys out the impact of the new measuring system. And so the 2 significant things are for towns under 10,000, we're not using the cases per 100,000 measurement anymore, which is not very different than the new one, which is absolute numbers. But of significance is the huge number of cases that they've added before the colors change. So I did send that out. I guess we're gonna have to just let it run a little bit.
When you say they've added, who is the they?
The day is the Department of Public Health. And it's their new metric that says that, and they're not right in front of me, but as I recall, red now, instead of being above, for us, would have been 7 cases. It was a number of 8. But now it would have been 7 cases, not 8 per 100,000. And it's now 25 instead of 7. And for yellow, yellow went up to 8 the last time, which is 7 cases, 8 per 100,000. And now it is up to 25. And green is at 15, where it used to be 4. So it's big numbers. It's between 3 and 4x what the old colors were.
Right.
So
So we no longer have a rate, we have an absolute number.
right. Right.
And to exceed the absolute number, we're going to have a whole lot of bad stuff going on here.
That's right. And so what I would wonder if we wanted, as we look at these numbers, if you recall, we were looking at a rolling average, and maybe we should continue looking at that rolling average and see if we should be responding.
Responding, what do you mean, Dick?
I don't know whether we reach out to people as this transmission rate goes up in our town, whether I don't know what action to take, Herb. I don't. That if you look at it, and especially if the disease is being transmitted outside the town, other than to try to ask people to behave in a way that's more cautious, to be more cognizant of the masks, of the spacing, of the hand cleaning. I don't know. I don't know where we go.
The official policy now is going to be an absolute number, not a rate. That doesn't mean we can't continue looking at the rate if you want to calculate that to see if in fact the rate of change is increasing. Newton started that 400 years ago, calculus. So we can continue looking at rates. And I think that's important.
Well, I'm
What
set
you
up to do it.
stated-
Or
What the issues that you just thinking about for media and a robocall. These are the mitigating factors that we would like everyone in town to be aware of, practicing, and trying to encourage the people around them to practice. So I think reiterating these things in as many places as possible and as many times as possible is a good thing.
maybe it's another chance to reach out to Al to ask him to help with the social media. Just I guess what we can do is see where we're going and see if we think we should be intervening for sure. If we get a couple more days like we've just got with 6 cases and 1 cases, we're going to be getting some pretty big numbers, and I'm set up with my report, not the normal weekly color report, but the color study. It does have the graphs on it that lets us look back at the data since June. So why don't we take a look at it next week? We can look over the next a couple weeks. We're going to certainly at our next meeting, we're only going to be 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. So we're going to have some data, a couple weeks of data. So
we're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving now.
you're right. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Our next meeting is 2 days before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
So let me take a look at the next few days, and I'll get us all out some charts and see what it looks like is happening. I can do that. Herb, do we want? Go ahead, Lee.
Is it appropriate to send a message out either on robocall? Al mentioned that too much people turn it off. Is every 4 days too much, too little? Going forward as reminders about the spot that the town is in and the potential threat of more cases, the holidays, etc., looming upon us. I don't know. I know what Al said. I don't know what ratio is acceptable by people who do this as far as too little or too much to get your attention, but not to get to the point where you say it's them again and click, you ignore it.
Well, all of us hate these calls that come on our phones and now on our cell phones from people that we didn't ask to call us. So we just have to be aware of that. We are set up to respond negatively to stuff coming in. So I think we just have to pay attention to that.
Maybe, Herb, your first blurb that you're coming out with that we're going to work with Al on social media, maybe that's the one that says, gee, this stuff is increasing in our town and the state, and we're just cautioning about Thanksgiving. And then the Thanksgiving one comes with the robocall, 2 weeks later. So we don't
No, we're
flood
2
the
weeks
place.
now, Dick. We are 2 weeks now.
Right. So I'm thinking you get one that you get ready to go pretty quick on the social media now. And then we get ready for the Thanksgiving one later.
Well, I'm not so sure from this perspective. People who are planning large Thanksgiving get-togethers probably are not going to cancel them on the basis of our robocall. So let me think about it a bit, okay? And then maybe we will talk about it some more. I'll talk to Al about it and think about what's the best strategy here.
I can support that. Our problem is that because we're only 3 members and that we're going to end up making a decision about this, 2 people talking about it puts us in violation of the open meeting law.
I agree,
if
but
Herb,
Al is not a part of the Board of Health.
that's right. You and Al don't break any kind of rules. You're fine. And as long as Lee and I say go for it, then you're set. And I can say go for it. I agree. What do you think, Lee?
Yep, absolutely correct. Yes.
Okay. So we do that. We've got, it looks like our last item that we have right now is American Legion. I see Rob is on. Are you with us, Rob?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm here with Jeff Rule and Steve Kerr.
Okay. What is the reason that you asked us to talk to us tonight?
Update on where we are. We have the ventilation survey being done tomorrow. We
Okay,
just had the building and fire inspection done, which is not pertaining to what we're doing now, but that's done. We also had the diagrams, the scale drawings done. Did you receive that?
I did. They were nice ones.
Okay, that was done. And there's the other, I think the only other thing was the egresses, which is in the process with Bob Sheehan.
Okay, that one of the things that when I looked at the sheet that you submitted to us, it said that you were supposed to be looking at myriad materials of construction and especially the kitchen area, I guess, that Herb, you said that you talked to Lynn and that the kitchen was okay?
I think she thought so. She thought it passed.
Is she gonna give us anything? So go ahead.
I don't know. I can send her a text and ask her.
Maybe actually what we ought to do is put it on Rob's responsibility to make sure that he gets her in there, get the report. So it's in his hand and we get a copy. Rob, you can talk to Colleen to get the inspection arranged. And
Yes,
you can end up with a whole packet for us with all those things you just said.
That sounds good. So yeah, we're talking about the inspection have Lynn come back, or is she good, you're saying?
No, I would be saying to get something in writing that she's gone through and said she's looked at the materials of construction of the walls, everything's cleanable, that all the right sinks are there, all the things that she says needs to get done, and get a written inspection that says that you pass, or that anything you have to do gets defined so you can get it done. And then it looks like you have a package that's a complete package ready to go.
Lynn should have done that already and turned it in to either Jean or Colleen.
I haven't seen anything
Right, yeah,
since
we can
I've been
definitely,
there.
yeah, we can reach out to Lynn and get, we'll talk to her and see what she needs, and then we'll definitely get what you guys need also.
Okay. So my question for everybody, and I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot here, but if Lynn gets this thing done which I know she will, and everything is the way she wants, at that point in time, can the Legion proceed to open prior to another meeting with the board?
One question that I have, what was the issue with Bobby Sheen and egress?
The exterior staircases that we have that leave the hall upstairs, they're
Yeah.
only for emergency egress. They need to be inspected every 5 years with an engineering stamp, which has never been done, which is going to be done.
I
He does
see.
not have that stamp though. Are you sure you didn't go to Bill Shaheen?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you said Bobby
No,
Sheehan.
I thought you
I'm
said
sorry.
Bob
I
Sheehan.
may have said Bobby,
Yeah.
my error.
Okay. Bill
Okay.
does in fact have that stamp.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, Bill can do that.
okay,
He was
now I
here.
am.
He was here last week. He took some pictures and some notes and stuff, and he's supposed to get back to me.
Now, the thing that we don't know is whether the ventilation is right. Do you? To
That's being
avoid
scheduled for
going,
tomorrow.
right, to avoid having another meeting or having you guys wait for 2 weeks, do we as a board want me to look at it and sign off on it if it's okay?
Yes,
Yeah, if that's doable without putting anybody on the spot and violating any rules, I would be extremely in favor of that activity.
So let's do that. What that does is it lets, if you guys deal with Len and get that done, and then we get the ventilation done and you get the stairs straightened out, the egress straightened out, it sounds like, I guess we're saying that that's okay to open. Is that right? Herb and Lee?
yes, that's what I
Yes.
would say.
Lee?
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's what we're hearing. Everything that we've asked for has been done. And if they've gone through the last check of the engineering on the stairs and the ventilation, I can't see what else that we could possibly want them to do to satisfy the local and state requirements.
Okay, Rob, that sounds like, do you understand that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we're done.
Okay, appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Okay, thank you.
You too.
On my list, that is the end of the items on my agenda. Are there any other items?
I don't think so.
Colleen, this is the time where you're supposed to come in and say,
I
I got
know.
one more thing.
I'm looking. Oh, as far as the Title V reports, Lee, do you want a hard copy of those or is it?
If you just want to, if it's easier for you to email them, if something doesn't make sense, I'll just print it on my side over here. That's more than fine in my way of thinking.
But
Yeah,
my suggestion was to try to save Colleen a whole bunch of work. And my suggestion was that if Colleen just scans the first sheet of these things for all of us to know what's there, and then in your packet, Lee, she just puts all of the originals, she can avoid taking these things apart and scanning 15 sheets for each report. The only thing you have to do is have the discipline to give them back to her.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these do come in through email. So I've already got them on the computer. If Lee is looking that way, if you guys don't need to print them out, they're already there. Most of them. Some people do drop them off, but most of them are ready to be emailed. So
Okay.
My suggestion
Yeah,
was
I'm-
find an easy way to do it, Colleen.
Yep, okay. Yeah, if the email's okay with you, Lee, that's fine, because we don't, then you don't have to get the originals back to me either.
Perfect. Yeah, and
Okay.
if it, let's try it. And if something goes south, we can work through it, but let's give it a shot and see where it ends up.
Okay. The
Yeah,
office is closed tomorrow due to Veterans Day, in case.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Lee, I thought you had a 7 o'clock meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, I do, but I wanted to stick this thing through. I'm feeling somewhat guilty because I'm not doing my job on the Board of Health. And I know there's a lot going on with the COVID and the schools and everything else, and I want to at least earn some measure of my contribution here when I can.
Okay. So if that's it, then I guess we're done